It's 2:56. So does everybody have their cocktail, their party favor? Let's see. I want to see if I can get.
Faces.
I know I'm trying to get them. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Yay! It's Bob with
Nancy.
you. Let's see. I'm asking everybody to start your video. If you don't want to, you don't have to accept it, but we would love to see your smiling faces. This is video. Sorry, you get me all up close and personal in here. Let's see here. We got Rosie. Nancy!
Hello.
There she is. Hey.
Bob is coming.
Oh, good.
He's just always late.
That's okay. We can
Oh
handle
no, that's
that.
me.
All right. Asked to start video. Oh,
So Diane and John aren't sharing a computer today. Oh, this is fun.
I know. Sorry, all. You get to have this, like, I don't know how to do it for all of them. I can unmute you all, but.
You should not have had the cocktail before starting this.
I swear, it's not even drink yet, I promise.
Yes, and you're on. You're on. So
Could be
come
number
stand
2, as far as I know.
Beverly's in. Oh, she just got back from a trip. Hi, Bob.
Hey,
Diane.
I'm glad I'm not in my boxers.
Oh, we are too. Don't worry. We put you in a compromising situation like that.
Mr. Azul. Hello.
Oh, Beverly, welcome home.
I can't hear her. I can see her.
Hang on, let's see. Beverly, I think that you might need to unmute yourself.
There she is.
Rosie.
Mr. Everett. Yay.
Start
Alyssa, where are you?
video.
I don't know.
Needs to
Oh,
unmute.
today.
I tried. See, I can mute all. I already tried to unmute them all. Ask all to unmute.
I think I'm unmuted.
No,
she is.
there you
Hello.
are.
Okay.
You did.
Miss
It says, Amanda, it says use Alt A to unmute.
Yeah, I asked you all to unmute. So if
Okay.
they press Alt A, they can unmute, or you can just press on the little microphone guy.
Big drink.
I haven't had a drink yet, but I don't see a microphone.
Oh, okay. All right. All
Alt
right.
A.
So I believe I've asked everybody to start your video. If you want to, you can accept it. If not, you don't need to. Oh, there we are. Okay.
There we
So
are.
hi everyone. It is exactly that's a perfect
yay,
time.
yay. Look at us go.
Yay. Thank you so much for coming on this call today. We are the team of Inside Advisors at Roseboro Travel Agency.
Debbie's a whole face.
I know Debbie is here.
I'm here.
You're going to get to see her face a little bit more as well throughout this presentation that we have afterwards. But first and foremost, we wanted to hop on here and thank you all so much for joining us and for helping us celebrate. Sorry, I'm trying to let somebody in. And helping us celebrate our golden anniversary +1. So last year, 2020 was the big year. It was our 50-year anniversary. And as you all know what happened in 2020, there wasn't a lot of travel to celebrate, right? So we decided that we're going to be like those people who just don't keep counting after a while. And we're going to just say +1 for the 50-year, our golden anniversary +1. So we wouldn't be here without all of you amazing explorers. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for planning your trips through us. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your adventures. And we are so excited that you are a part of our amazing adventures and that we get the honor and privilege to be a part of yours by helping you plan it. So we wanted to start our day or our call with a toast to travel, a toast to each and every one of you. And
yes.
good years ahead.
My face isn't, but I am. That's why we want working together.
I love it. I love
Man.
it. We're all ready. So,
Cheers.
cheers to all of you. Cheers, Nostrovia, Prost. How else do we say it? Hungarian.
Say
Say it louder. Say it louder.
Gampai.
And what about French?
What is it? French. Cheers.
Santé.
What is it?
Santé.
Santi. Santi. Yes. So cheers to all
I
of
know.
you.
I
don't know.
I
Sorry.
know.
There you go.
All right.
Cheers.
So as we go ahead, drink, take a sip.
Oh, I don't know.
So as we are transitioning over, what I'm going to do is pass the camera off to Miss Debbie here, and she is going to give you a little mini introduction as well. If you all want, you can leave your cameras on, or you don't need to, but once Sebastien starts
see if
talking,
I can-
I will I'll mute
If I
everybody.
can get anything
Okay.
else here.
Without further ado, Debbie,
All right.
take it
All
away.
right, take
Thank
it
you, Miss
away.
Debbie.
All right, I'm gonna sneak over this way then. Yay!
Bring the file out into the
So yes, we are finally here. It is Tulip Time. So as one of the other sad moments of 2020, we missed our Tulip Time trip last year, but luckily that means that we have it for this year. We just moved it on to 2022 and we're really excited. I see some people on the call that are already booked for this trip. So yay, excited. But I am going to let Sebastien take it away and help us walk through the Tulip Time cruise with AmaWaterways, because I'm excited to hear more about it. Waiting a long time. So Sebastien, I'll let you go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me today. Looking forward to be able to talk to you about this trip a little more. So what I'll try to do first is to share my screen. See the welcome on board? Yes? Okay, great. So my name is Sebastien Leroy. I'm a cruise manager with AmaWaterways. I'm also a business development manager with AmaWaterways, which means that I have the pleasure to work with our ladies at Roseboro Travel a lot. And I'm very much looking forward to talking to you about this great trip that they've prepared for the end of March 2022 on board the Amasarena. Actually, it's really a great time because I just came back 2 days ago from Europe, from one of our ships, from the Ama Magna. So I was on another river, on the Danube River. But it's been an amazing experience. Everything is going very, very well there. We have now restarted almost our entire fleet. We have our newest ship, the Amadalia, starting in a few days now on September 6th, and that will be a brand new itinerary for us because it will be in Egypt. But a lot of great things, and that's why if you have questions at the end, I'm not sure I can answer all of them, but I made a conscious effort when I was in Europe to go through as many airports as I could. I took the train internationally. I went to quite a few countries in a few days because I did Germany, I did the Netherlands, I did so France twice, Czech Republic, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary. So if you have a few questions, feel free to when the end of this presentation will come. But for those of you who are joining us here for the first time and who are not very familiar with the river cruise experience, well, I like to start the presentations with this because for those of you who would be familiar with an ocean cruise, but there are major differences. And as you can see, the first one is that the river cruise will take you through the country, whereas the ocean will take you to a country. You will go along the coast. And when you go through the country, as you can see here, that's on the Rhine River. you see that the size, of course, of the waterway is smaller, which means that the size of the ship will be also in consequence, which also means that the number of guests on board will be less. And that's what we want. We want to have a nice experience, an experience with space. And I think it's very funny because a few years ago, we were talking, like talking 3 years ago, we started talking about the luxury of space and the luxury of more. And now with all the physical distancing that is required everywhere, it looks like we were a little bit ahead of our time here. And I will try to show you how our ships are and what the experience will be when you will be on the river. We have to thank these folks for AmaWaterways to exist, starting with the gentleman on the left, Rudi Schreiner, our CEO and co-founder, with the wonderful lady who is in the middle, Christine Kars, who is now his wife. So Rudi is, as you can see, from Vienna, from Austria, and Christine is from Germany. And why do I show that picture? Because when we started the company in 2002, there were 2 families at the top. And when you look at the picture now in 2021, you still have these same people at the top. The only little difference, you see that the gentleman on the right, Gary Murphy, it's not written co-founder, it's written co-owner. Because it's actually his dad, Jimmy Murphy, who was the 3rd founder of the company. But Jimmy passed away a few years ago, but we're happy to have Gary with us, who carries the legacy of his dad. Now, that's where we go in general, but today we will be focusing on the area that I'm circling out here. So we will be in the Netherlands, in Belgium, so we will be on the lower Rhine River, and also on what we call the Dutch waterways, because most of the time when you will be on this Tulip Time itinerary, you are not on the Rhine River per se. And what I like about this itinerary, because many people talk when they hear about river cruising for the first time or second, and they're like, well, but we heard about low water, we heard about high water. The great thing with this itinerary, you cannot have these conditions because 95% of the cruise is tidal. So you will have, of course, sometimes when you're docked in an area, your ship will be high, and then 6 hours later, you might not see it because it went down a couple of feet. But there is absolutely no high or low water issue. Our crew is ready. And so I can tell you, as I said, I just came back. So I did the 3rd sailing of our AmaMagna. And we've been restarting our fleet. We started in Portugal, July 3rd, and we've been restarting gradually. And everything is going very, very well. We have safety, of course, protocols that we've put in place. Not only this year, we had them already last year because we were cruising in 2020. We were actually the only North American cruise line operating. So we were not operating with American guests, or let's say North American guests. We were operating with European guests on board, but it's been really a great time because it allowed us to really make sure that the protocols that we had thought about were really effective and efficient. And what we can expect and what you can expect when you will be approaching the Amasarina is a view pretty much like this one. And the Amasarina is the sister ship of the Ama Cristina. So for those of you who have not been on a river cruise before, there's one thing to know. And the great thing when you are talking to Debbie or to Amanda or Tiffany or the entire team at Roseboro Travel is that they are very familiar with the different cruise lines, river cruise lines, because there is one thing that 95% of the ships in Europe have in common, and that's the length, the width, and the height. The length, it's usually 443 feet, which is equivalent to 135 meters. And even I know that some others like to say that they have patented long ships. Well, the truth is that they are not any longer than anybody else's, because why do all these ships have the same size? Because they have one constraint, which is the lock. And if you make a ship that is too big for the lock, the problem that you will have is that your ship will go nowhere. So you have the same length, the same width, and the same height. Why the same height? simply because they need to go under the same bridges. So the question, once you have this volume of space, is how many people do I put on board? How many crew members, and what type of, what size of cabins, of stateroom will I offer? Do I put one restaurant? Do I put two? Do I put more? And after that, what types of amenities will I have? So we have chosen to have less guests on board our ships because the maximum capacity of our ships is 156 guests. The competition can go up to over 190. And that's an important point, because from 150 to 190, when we're talking about 16, 17, 18 cabins, more that you have to put in the same volume of space. If you put more people, you will take away the comfort and the overall experience. So we have less guests, we have more crew members, and we have a lot of amenities for our guests. So as I said, we have 2 dining rooms, we have a swimming pool, we have a spa, we have a fitness center. Fitness centers look absolutely amazing. Actually, I hope that I wish I could show you a picture, because many people are always very motivated when they see the fitness center, and it looks absolutely shiny and beautiful, and it stays like this. I've seen, during the week, I went on the AmaMagna, and I've seen 2 people going to the fitness center during the week. But really a lot of possibilities. But of course, what will be interesting for you is to know how big and how much space you have in your stateroom. So the staterooms are very spacious because they range from 190 square feet, 170 square feet to 355. And what you see here now, that's our typical mid-range stateroom, where we are at 235 square feet with the twin balcony. Really a lot of space. When you are on a river cruise, the beauty, I think, is that you're going to be ashore most of the time. So it's not like you have to spend hours and hours and hours every day in your cabin, because every day you have other areas to discover. And being in the stateroom is really nice to relax a little bit. You have, of course, you have your privacy if you want also to have internet access. You can connect multiple devices to the ship's Wi-Fi that's complimentary. So really a lot of advantages, and people really enjoy their staterooms. But as I said, you will spend a lot of time outside this stateroom. And if you want to be active, we will make sure that you can be active. So we have a lot of excursions. Actually, all excursions are included, but we also have a wellness program, and the wellness host on board the ship will give actually multiple classes throughout the day. And don't worry, you don't have to take part to it. You can, but you don't have to. And the classes are just here, and they're there's a wide range of classes. It can start, usually what happened last week when I was on board, the wellness host would start in the morning with a gentle morning stretching. It would be followed by a class of core strengthening. Then you had TheraBand classes during the day. You had a Zumba class. You had so really a lot of different things. Gentle post-lunch digestive walk. So they have a lot of things to make sure that everybody stays in good shape throughout the day. But what will be important for you are the excursions. So I think when we talk about excursions, and I just said they're all included, there is really a lot of choices. And especially on this itinerary where you will go in a few minutes, you will see that you will be busy morning and afternoon if you want to do so. Don't forget one thing. I just said, if you want to do so, if you decide one day that you don't want to go on an excursion because you want to relax on the ship, feel free to do so. The ship is your house, your home away from home for this 1 week. So the ship is open. But when you go on tours, we have small groups. That has always been the case. Now, COVID, the European authorities actually force us to have a maximum of 15 guests per group. We used to have a maximum of 20, so it doesn't change a lot for us. but it changes a lot of things for you because the smaller the group, the better you will be able to communicate with your local guide. You will probably be able to exchange and ask questions much more easily. So the smaller the group, the better it is. We use, as you can see on the picture here, we use the quiet vox system. And so these are these little, you see the guide here when I'm circling around, that's the transmitter, but you see that the gentleman here, for example, has a gray receiver. And this allows you to really hear the guide, so you can keep also your distance. You don't have to be like 3 feet behind the guide in order to understand what he or she says. And we have several walking paces. So we have active walking, we have regular walking, we have gentle walking, to make sure that everybody can enjoy these tours at their own pace. And then if you really want to be active, we offer hikes and also bike rides. So the bike rides, usually many people ask me, so how are the bike rides? Are they very strenuous? The beauty of the Tulip Time cruise is that you're going to the Netherlands and Belgium, and these are very famous for being completely flat. So these are usually very, very easy, nice bike rides along the river, or even when you go in towns like Rotterdam, for example. The beauty of the Netherlands is that the vast majority of people travel by bike. They don't have cars. I mean, you go to Amsterdam, you have 2 bikes per person, whereas you have 1 car every 5 people. So it's really a great way to discover these areas. The bike rides are not too long. I mean, usually, we have a bike ride that will last about 2.5 hours, and you have to cover about 10 to 12 miles. So it's really an easy biking pace. And we always have, of course, our guides, but also the wellness host is coming with you, because if for some reason it would become too difficult, too strenuous, I mean, we will always have one person being able to accompany you back to the ship. But I've very, very rarely, I think in the 15 years on the ships, I've seen that 2 times. And one time it was not even really that the person was tired, is that she had a flat. And actually what happened is that the wellness host gave his bike and the lady continued her bike tour. So that's the itinerary. So as I said, so the Netherlands, Belgium. So we will start, and you have the possibility to start with 2 nights in Amsterdam. And so that would be a pre-land extension. And after that, we will board the ship, go to Hoorn. And then from Hoorn, we will go all the way down to Rotterdam, Antwerp, Ghent. So we will be docked in Ghent, and you will have the possibility to visit Bruges. Then you will come back to an area which is here very close. We dock to Kinderdijk, and then you will come back, have the possibility to visit Keukenhof, and also the beautiful Zanseschan. So that's a little village that is right next to Amsterdam. But that's what you can expect. Tulip Time, you can expect flowers everywhere. And not only tulips. We call it Tulip Time, but really these are all the flowers that have bulbs. And you will see that the Netherlands, I mean, they have this reputation of being the most colorful country in the world in April. And you will see when you get there that it's absolutely true. What you see here, that's in Kinderdijk. And so these are these windmills that are actually evacuating the water, and the polders that are evacuating the water from the land and pumping it out back to the sea. And these windmills that you see actually here are 300 years old. And you will see that they're all functioning, they're all inhabited. It's a really, really great place to see, but you have a lot of great places to see. And as I said, you can start, if you wish, with a pre-land extension. So that would be 2 nights in a hotel in Amsterdam, which is the Hyatt Regency. Very well located, very close to the city center, actually very close to the red light district as well, but not in the red light district. Very famous on the red light district in Amsterdam, as you may know. But so beautiful area where you can be sure that you will be rested and you're close to everything. That's what we search when we choose our hotels for the pre or post land extensions. We always want to be in reach and within reach of the attractions in a very minimal time, but not in the middle of the crowded places. So we can visit, and you have a visit of Amsterdam that is offered there. You also have the visit of, as I said, Zanzerschans, which is a beautiful little village. That's where you will see how the Dutch, for example, the wooden shoes are made because they've been made there for 350 years. So they still have people showing to you, making it in front of you. You have, and then you will learn about the cheeses, because of course we're talking about the flowers, but the Edam, the Edam and the Gouda or Gouda cheese, you will learn about these. And Zanzerschans actually has a little, it's like a little mini Netherlands within a village. It's a beautiful place to start. And I like very much to use actually the pre-land extensions, because it will also allow you to beat the jet lag and to be ready for the cruise. So when we will embark the ship, you will have a canal cruise that is organized. And that's really the best way to discover Amsterdam, because you know that Amsterdam basically is, it's constituted of 179 canals. So it's very, very big. You won't see all of them, but the canal cruise, it's on one of these boats, and the long ones, not the little thing here, but the long ones here. We have our private boats that are used only for our guests. We have the social distancing that is respected there. It is glass, it's a glass roof, so you can really take the pictures from every angle without having to move. So it's really great. And that's really how you will discover the town, how it's been built. You will go also through the different parts of history of the town. You will visit the Jordaan district. You will pass Anne Frank's house. So then you will learn about the very dark hours during the Second World War. But of course, you will learn much more than that, because the Oranje family, so the Orange family, which has been dominating the Netherlands for hundreds of years, has been famous for the trade with France, with Belgium, with the UK. And you will see in the architecture of the town that actually it's a very rich history. As I said, we have small group excursions, and I show this one because we have as well a tour that will be able to give you another view of Amsterdam, and that's what we call the special interest tours. So special interest tours, I always say it's either for people who have been to Amsterdam before, and you know, once you've seen the canals, I mean, you might not want to see it again, or if you want, that's a great thing. But if you want to do another thing, you will go, as I said, in the Jordaan district, which is the very poor district 3 centuries ago, but it became very famous over the past 50, 60 years. And now that's where you have the food scene of the Netherlands. So we will take you to a place, to different places where you will be able to taste different dishes, pastries, coffees, different types of teas as well that we offer, that are offered in the Netherlands. So that's another choice. Of course, not only in Amsterdam, you will have culinary experiences, and what you see here, the stroop waffles. So these ones you will get to taste them when you're in Rotterdam, if you decide to visit the market hall. And there are a lot of things that your cruise manager on board will tell you about. I'm not telling you everything because that would be boring, but you will also see a lot of different architectures. And I really like this picture, because that's one part of Rotterdam that not everybody gets to see. And these houses, the architecture of these cubic houses here is absolutely stunning. And I show you the picture, but you really want to be in front of this, because they're not straight. And what you see here, it looks like the house is, the cubes are really falling. And people live in there. Same thing in the Great Market Hall of Rotterdam. And here, okay, if you look, so the market is down here. Okay, you see the cubic houses here in the back, but now you have apartments all the way around. Even up here, you have apartments. So it's really a marvel of architecture. You really want to go see that. And the ship is docked 5 minutes away from that. That's what's absolutely amazing on these trips, is that you're always close to the action. So that's why, even if you decide that you don't want to go on a tour, but that, you know, later on you want to go for a walk, that's super easy. The reception will give you the map of where we are, and it's really literally virtually impossible to get lost. I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible, because you can always manage, but we always manage to find you. That always happens. And look at this. That's also Rotterdam, and very close. That's within 10 minutes walk. So you see really different types of architecture. That's the old harbor. And then I want to show you a last thing. And that's just when you get out the harbor. And that's even older than the old harbor of Rotterdam, Delfshaven. That we're talking about the 15th century here. And what will be very interesting for you to see everywhere you go are these houses, because you will see that they're not straight. And why is that? Because they've been built, as you know that the Dutch people over the centuries have gained land over the sea, which is why you have the dikes and the delta works. And even if they've been pumping out most of the water, and then they had some semi-solid foundation, it's not completely solid. Actually, Amsterdam, the town itself, is still moving every day, and they had to reinforce the entire town quite a few years ago. And you will see that everywhere. So really absolutely amazing places that you will discover. But of course, Delft, so Delfshaven and Delft, is not only famous for the houses. You will learn about painters like Johannes Vermeer. So Vermeer, you know, for the lady with the milk, and he was very famous also for the portraits that he made, Johannes Vermeer. But also in Delft, you have the royal blue porcelain. And so you have tours that will take you, and you will have to make some choices, because you will not be able to see all of it. But just to let you know, I had the question, and I even heard it last week on the ship again. I was not working last week, I was on vacation. But it's always interesting when you hear guests saying, well, if I decide to go to this tour, what do I miss? Well, you will miss the other tour. But the most important for me, when I tell guests, if you choose a tour, enjoy what you will see. Don't think about what you will miss. Okay, because there are always a lot of things, and we cannot see everything at the first time. And if you love it so much, you come back the year after, you go see Amanda, and you say, I want to go back. I take another ship, and then you take the tours that you didn't take the year before. But you will see, you really want to go for what you've decided to see, and you will have an amazing time. Now, another little thing, I mentioned to you Kinderdijk. So these are these windmills. So you will see it's 19 of them, and actually it's actually 23, because 4 of them are being completely restored and renovated. But so 19 are functioning, and they're inhabited. So they've been here for 300 years, and the work that they do, you can see here, they're still pumping out the water, because even if the Dutch manage to dry out these lands, the water is coming from below. So it goes under the dikes, it's coming from below, and that's why you evacuate, you pump this water out. And this picture that you see here, I like to show it, because that's what we show you, that's what we have on the ship. At your cruise manager's desk, you have one of these pictures with the explanations every day. So for every site, you can go to the cruise manager's desk, and you will get a little explanation of what you're going to see that day, depending on the tour that you've chosen. So you will visit the Netherlands, of course, but you will also go to Belgium. And in Belgium, when you will go to Antwerp, so once again, you will be docked in the heart of the city, because if you see my arrow, my cursor, that's where the ship is docked, right here. So it is literally an 8 minutes walk to the heart and to the cathedral and the heart of the city. Absolutely superb, Antwerp as well, because everybody talks, of course, about the Netherlands, about the Floriade, about the Keukenhof, but Belgium really has also a massive floral tradition and culture. And you have the Floralia. So everything, COVID has done quite a few good things that you will be able to enjoy next year, because you will be there right at the beginning of April. But basically, you will be able to enjoy Keukenhof in the Netherlands. You will go see the farms in Horn. And since you will be at the beginning of April, most likely you will have 90% of the flowers out in the fields. And then you will come to Floralia, and in Floralia in Belgium, they decorate the entire town with flowers. and it's absolutely amazing. And of course, if you've seen too many flowers at that point, there are other tours. You will be, because Antwerp is the city of Peter Paul Rubens, and also an amazing painter. And when you will go in the cathedral, you can go with the guide and you get an explanation about these gigantic paintings by Peter Paul Rubens. You will learn, you can go visit his house where he grew up. Absolutely fantastic property just in the middle of the town. Also, if you're in, and that's more for the ladies, I guess, gentlemen, you need to hear that as well, because Antwerp is very famous for what? For diamonds, because historically that's where you have the biggest diamond exchange, the diamond exchange in the world, actually. And you still have the Quartier des Diamantaires, so the diamond district of Antwerp. You can visit, you can go see the factories, you see how they cut the diamonds there. So it's really an amazing town. And of course, now we'll talk more to the gentleman. If you're not that much interested in diamonds, but you're more interested in the specialties from Belgium, we will also offer you a beer tasting tour, which is really famous because, of course, you know that we have the Abbé beers in Belgium. So it's not only beer, we will give you also the little waffles and the Belgian chocolates. And so that's really a very nice tasting tour that you can have in Antwerp. So quite a lot of choices. And again, don't forget that all these tours, they're all included. There is no, I will have to pay for this, I will have to pay for that. They're all included, because you will have tours in the morning, you will have tours in the afternoon. Sometimes you will have tours in the evening. If you decide you want to do the 3, go for it. I mean, it's not like you're coming every week. I mean, well, if you are, good, but you can really enjoy all these tours. And the good thing, the beauty is that you will have Debbie with you. So she will be able also to help you, you know, I mean, if you have some questions. I mean, of course, the cruise manager is there, but she knows you very well. So enjoy the time with her. Just a little word about this. So this is the city hall here in Antwerp, and here are the oldest houses of the city. And when you have the Floralia, all this here is completely decorated with flowers everywhere. So you will see that it's an absolutely amazing time to get there. Then, as I mentioned to you, we will go back to the Netherlands, and you will visit Middelburg. So Middelburg is a beautiful medieval city. You will recognize the architecture it's very typical, and the Belgian and the Dutch architectures are very similar, and most of the buildings have been built in a post or late Renaissance style. So you see, I mean, very easy to recognize the Gothic architecture everywhere, but you will see that they have pretty much every day the same type of architecture, very detailed, because of course the Renaissance, and that's really the time where everybody wanted to show that their skills at cutting rocks. So you will see that there are absolutely amazing details when you go to Bruges or to Ghent on the cathedrals and on the buildings themselves. But you will also see so Keukenhof. So Keukenhof, a little tip from me, and I suggest you write it down. When you will get there, you will have 2 tours that day. There is a very early one. I mean, it will make you leave the ship around 7:30. And then there's a later one that leaves around 9:30, something like that. Take the early one. Make sure that you take the early one, because we're the only river cruise line going that early. We enter with the workers. So you will have the park for yourself. And and you will realize, not when you enter, but when you will leave, when your cruise manager will give you the meeting point with the time for leaving, and you will see and I'm not joking, sometimes 100 buses on the parking lot of the Keukenhof. So you make sure, since you're going to go there, that you go on the early tour. And you will see that Keukenhof, when you're alone, you can really, that's 2 guests that we had, and you can go in you really can be part of it. And that's absolutely not possible if you have, 15 cars of, tourists overall coming at the same time at the same spot. So make sure that you take the early tour. This will also mean don't party too late. You will see that you can party very late on the ship. So don't party too late the night before, but you trust me, you will love being at Keukenhof in the early morning. I was also talking about the bike tours and the tours in general. So the bike tours, of course, everything is flat. But the great thing with this area of the world being so small is that you will see a lot of time the same guides. Because, you know, when you go to a country like France, for example, when you go on the Rhone River, or the Rhone River is pretty long. Whereas this area here is very concentrated. So the guides, they go from place to place. They're licensed, and because they're all officially licensed guides. So what is a licensed guide? This is a guide who has been to university, completed the degree, and has been tested to make sure that all the information that is given is completely accurate. Or at least accurate at the moment we know it. I mean, for what we have at that moment. Great tools that you will have there, and that's for me the most important. The time that you will have on board will be really relaxed. You will have a large amount of tours. So of course it's a little bit too early to talk about vaccination, COVID, etc. So you probably know that AmaWaterways, we only at the moment accept guests who are vaccinated. So this is what we think is the most responsible thing to do. Our entire crew is vaccinated, so are our cruise managers. And of course, we hope that, I mean, by then, everything will have relaxed a little bit. But I will tell you that me being on the ship last week, this was the third week of the ship operating. And as I said, I've been a cruise director for 15 years. If I had not known better, I would have thought that the crew had been there for the entire year and a half. Everything was spotless, very relaxed. What do we do you know, when you go back home? Let's say that the situation doesn't evolve much in terms of re-entry requirements for the US. We facilitate, because you need to have a negative test when you come back in the US at the moment. We facilitate that. So basically, what does it mean? That we will arrange a lab to come on board just in time and before your departure. We will have a lab. The test will be done. If you need an antigen test or if you need a PCR, depending on where you're going, we do all that. So we organize all that for you. It's really a very seamless experience. I'm looking at what happened for us, and I was with my entire family. So we were 10 people, and the range of age went from 18 to 78. Everybody had a great time, and I'm pretty certain that you will also have an amazing time there. Now, we're talking about the end of March, so maybe a few of you will have a few questions regarding the wardrobe. So one thing is important to know is that when you're in the Netherlands, it's always windy. Okay, that's not relevant if you go in January, in March, in July. You always have wind. So make sure that you have a nice windbreaker, and then you will be at the end of March, beginning of April. So you will have temperatures which will most likely go in the 70s during the day, mid 70s. But you will have like morning temperatures that will be around 55, 60. Okay, so make sure that you have some clothes for that. Now, what time is it? Or did I talk too long? Well, I hope not. But do you? I think, Amanda, if you hear me, maybe we could. I see some hands that are raised. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe if there are hand raised, this probably means that there are questions. Oh, sorry, I said Amanda, but I was talking about Debbie. So maybe we can answer a few questions.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I see some. Okay, Amanda's saying some of them were not meant, maybe, but I see.
Oh, okay. Or do we have any questions?
Yeah, I guess that would be the next thing. Does anybody have questions? I don't know, but I think that I am so ready to go on this trip at this point. And after hearing this information again, I know we did this last year before the trip, and it was exciting then, but now having to wait another entire year to do this. I am very ready to go on this trip and see everything that you've mentioned. I mean, you describe it so well, Sebastien, and it just makes me so excited to see it for myself. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think, you know, last year I mentioned to you that this was supposed to be a celebratory cruise for me. It was a 50th birthday for me last year. And so I, along with Roseboro, will be celebrating a 50+1 on this cruise. So I'm pretty excited about that. So our trip will be March 28th through April the 4th of 2022. And as Sebastien mentioned, we're doing the 2 pre-nights in Amsterdam as well. So I think pretty much everybody that's booked right now has booked for those additional nights ahead of time, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to. It's everybody's choice. It's an option.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody's interested, and like I said, some people on the call here today I know are booked already, and I know they're on because they're just as excited as I am. They've been waiting. But if anybody's interested, we're all here and we can all help, not just me, not just Amanda, but everybody here. Alyssa can help with that to get you. Tiffany can get us booked on this trip for next March. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you will see what was really eye-opening for me also, because I did not mention them, but the crew was so happy. I mean, they're always, I mean, I've known them, you know, our crew, they come year after year after year, which is always a great sign in a company when the crew doesn't change every year. But how happy they were to have guests on board back and to see people and do what they like. This was also a great experience. And you will see, I mean, it's not only about the crew, it's also people in the towns. I mean, as I told you, I've done like 7 countries, and people are just happy to see not only their own citizens there, and to see tourists coming back. It was a really great feeling, and I really like to share that because I mean, of course, you can be watching TV, and if you watch TV, I mean, we're like, oh my goodness, I mean, you see a level 4 here or a level 4 there. The truth is that it's they are very, very well organized, and as much as I hate to say that, they are much better organized than we are here, and it just works. You know, you have, I mean, once you have a phone, pretty much everywhere you go. So if, let's say that you want to go to a cafe or to a bar, what they try to do is some contact tracing. So you always have a little, everywhere you go, you have a little QR code. You just do that. It records that you're here with your phone. It's just to make sure that the contact tracing is done if there was a problem. And then life goes on very normally. The only thing that I've seen everywhere in Europe is that if you go to indoor venues, and when I say venue, it can be a restaurant. It can also be, for example, the visit of a cathedral or something. They want people to have a mask inside, but outside, I mean, absolutely no problem. And then, as you know, it's pretty much like we had a few months ago. When you go in a restaurant, as soon as you're seated, you take off the mask. When you're on the terrace, but you're outside, so you don't need the mask. I really must say that I was pleased of how easy it was, because I was not trying to look at that for myself because I'm traveling all the time. I was taking a look at how easy is that for a person who comes for the first time, and it really is. It really is easy. I mean, pretty much as soon as you arrive in Europe, you just show your COVID card, your CDC, your vaccination card, and pretty much after that you're good to go all the way. So very easy.
That's good to hear. And going back to your comment about how everybody's so happy on board, I think that just adds to the experience too. And it also brings together the fact that it wasn't just one country that had to deal with this. You know, this was everybody all over the world that had to deal with this. So everybody is so happy to just, I think, be back together, to be back on a ship, to be sailing again, and to be experiencing all of these places. So I think that's important to note that, you know, just that adds to the experience, that it's just everybody finally getting this opportunity to visit these places, and everybody's happy on all ends, on all sides.
Oh yeah, and you will. You know, the last thing is that we always when you're on the ship, you have the possibility to basically do a deposit if you want to do a future cruise, and I've never seen so many coming in, and even my wife signed one, and I said, I'm an employee, you don't need to sign one. She's like, yeah, but I want to come back, and I'm like, okay, but it was a really great experience, and I'm really looking forward to getting your feedback in April, because I'm sure you will have a memorable time.
I'm sure we will. And I don't see any questions coming through right now. So that tells me you must have just done a really great job, Sebastien, with explaining everything. So I'll just say thank you for all of the information that you shared today. We appreciate it. We look forward to going, and anybody that, again, that's interested in going on the trip, or if you just think you're interested, just give a call and we're happy to answer any of the questions. And if we don't have the answer, we can get in touch with Sebastien and we can get that answer for you. So thank you again for joining. We appreciate it. And thank you for joining for our 50+1 years. We're looking forward to a really great 2022 or end of 2021 and into 2022 here at Roseboro. So thank you everyone for joining today.
Have a great day. And as Amanda just wrote, if you're ready to go, give them a call. The phone number is 386-734-7245.
Thank you, Sebastien. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for having me. And ladies, I hope to be able to visit you guys in the land soon.
We hope so. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.